filling in all the areas so I don't have to use up a lot of putty. The last few areas need puttied here on the front scoop. As soon as the putty just still warm and cured enough, you can scrape off the excess with a blade, and that'll save a lot of time. I've attached the two mocks of the fuselage to boards from underneath with screws, and I'm going to take resin and coat the board up to the mock. I'm doing this because the mold would really stick badly to just the wood, and I'm pushing it up under so that I have a little bit of a curve where the fuselage meets the board underneath. I'm also covering any area that has exposed wood on the mock itself. A couple of coats of paint, starting with a primer, and that's just so I can see what I have and to cover any wood that happens to be showing through. I'm just using any kind of paint that I have. My dad gave me a bunch of cans of paint that he got at flea markets that he got real cheap, and I'm using that up. And then applying a coat of wax, just a mold release paste wax, and that fills in any pinholes or anything, and brushing off the excess. I'm using the tape to make a moat so that the resin won't run off the side when I make the mold. And you just loosen up the edge all the way around. Okay, maybe if I put this one out of the way here. Okay, this isn't going so well. And maybe the air will help. There we go, that's not working. Okay, maybe if I go over on this side a little more. And maybe this side. And over here maybe a little bit. Okay, this isn't going well. You know, when you're watching a video and they decide to show what happens when things go wrong, and this is one of those moments, and I just want to share with you. I knew it was going to happen when I was doing the piece. It was right before, it was actually on my day off. I came into work. I ended up having to help open up in the store for a little bit. By that time, I'd been here for several hours. I was tired. I wanted to go home. I knew this was going to be a problem. And don't ever do this. They need to be taken off the mock while they're still a little on the warm side. Cured, but still a little flexible. Otherwise, they can be very difficult to remove. You can see how I struggled to get those, to try to get those out, and it just wasn't going to happen. As soon as I saw the paint staying on the inside, I knew I was in trouble. This can quickly go to, all you want to do is save the mold because you know the mock is going to come out in pieces. And that's what happened here. I had to pry it out, and it came out in 4 or 5 pieces. But I definitely won because my molds are very nice, came out very nice. Just need cleaned up a little bit with only a few wounds. And so that's a good thing. I think making the casting is always way easier than making the mold itself, because the fiberglass shrinks. It shrinks. As it shrinks onto the mock, which means it's going to be tighter to get off. That's one of the reasons you have to take it off while it's still a little flexible. The air wedge that I used, usually something like this, I designed this so that it would come right out. Had this still been a little warm, this would have popped out and been very entertaining, and you would have been all like, wow, look at that, it pops right off. Doesn't always pop right off, especially when you do something dumb. As for warpage, because you're always with fiberglass, you're always going to have warpage. I just wanted to show you that these pieces, they fit together pretty good, even though they're not going to be used as one mold. They're stored this way. You clamp them together, and that way they'll always keep a nice shape.
These are the mocks for the vertical stabilizers and rudders. They're just 1/4 inch wood. Laying them out on a backing piece of wood and marking where they go, so that when I glue them in place I don't have to worry about spacing. I'm just using CA. Piece of plastic film that I'm sliding up to the edge where the hinge is going to go. That way it'll give me a little bit of space between the two halves when I put them together. There's a little bit of a difference with the wing molds because they're two-sided molds. Although they're not going to be used together, I still keep them together to make the molds. And I'm starting by adding the tape mode all the way around, then the wax, and then the PVA. I use the softer wax so that I can go right up to the seam where the tape is.